Okay, thank you. Lovely. Okay, Renee is smiling. Oh, I'm glad it's making you feel good. No. Okay, if you want to share, feel free to share. If not, that's also fine. You can write in the chat box if you like. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to think. Okay. All right. Most of you, I think you finished. Smile, friendliness, and accent. Ooh, I love that, Mary. I love it. Yeah. Fantastic. Ooh, what's your accent? I'm going to ask just out of curiosity. Mary, what's your accent? Oh, I can't hear you. You'll have to unmute yourself. No. Oh.
I'm an Ulster Scot.
Ah, lovely. Okay, definitely standing out. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, it's difficult to know. Came up with what you bring, preparation, personal approach. I like that. Definitely. Okay, so I hope that kind of made you feel like, ooh, the buzz about yourselves, because that's the point. Okay, so now let's think about a little bit more about the online space. So let's think a bit more globally now. And I've tried to think, because, if you signed up to this class, then it means that you might think that you would struggle to stand out. So I wanted to pinpoint what are the actual reasons that we get so overwhelmed by the online space. And I thought that one of them is that everyone is online, okay? So like literally the whole world is online. Would you agree? Yeah. There is just too much information. You're nodding, okay? Everything and everyone is fighting for our attention. Products, services, people selling things, people, I don't know, doing things, selling us, but also just entertaining us. It's not only about businesses, it's also about all sorts of things. So we have to sort of compete with all of that. Then people try and reach as many people as possible. And I find that a massive threat to standing out. And people think that offering more will make them more successful, okay? So what I understand by that is that, say, you can think about a certain product. So for example, say there is a company who started by selling a really specific product, like, for example, say Adidas, right? Or Adidas, or however you accentuate that. So they sold trainers and now they sell everything that is connected to sports outfit, gear, and everything, right? And they are still successful. It's okay, right? But they probably invest lots of money in it. But then that trend sort of becomes the norm. So everybody thinks that the more they offer, the better they are, right? And there is a question here that I believe that there is something wrong with that trend. Can you sort of think and tell me what could be wrong with that, with all those things, or just the last one? If you have an idea, you can put that in the chat as well. Yes. Oh my God. This is a fantastic example, Katie. Precious people might be better to focus, specialize, and be an expert. I'm going to admit one more person. Yes. too much competition, difficult to stand out. Absolutely. It has an effect on us. Yes. Hi, Aga. Hello. Talking about threats, over why we get overwhelmed by the online world. So we're coming up with some ideas. Quality over quantity. Exactly. Oh my God, all those things. So you get that. Yeah. And I feel it's the same with all sorts of industries, whether it is service-based, product-based, or teaching, education-based, okay? So now let's translate that into the ELT or English teaching world. Think about a teacher who qualifies as a teacher and is actually quite good at teaching, say, okay, the most simple example, people who come out of CELTA, they are usually good at teaching general English, but then they think that I have to really learn how to teach business English and exam classes and maybe ESP as well, and just be good at everything, because what if somebody asks that I teach them those things and I don't know, okay? So that's the fear. And yeah, but again, it becomes quantity over quality. So that's what's wrong with that trend. Okay. So how do we stand out in that crowd of mediocrity and people doing everything, also at very low prices? And I sort of thought of 6 things that need to happen for any teacher or any sort of person who provides services, educator, who wants to stand out online. Because now I'm going to challenge you a little bit and think about it for a second. If you came to this webinar, it means that I think that you want to stand out. Is that true? Would you like to stand out online? Yeah, most of you, right? Okay, but are you ready to stand out? Exactly. And that's the challenging question. So I believe that those 6 things have to happen. There needs to be a mindset change, and I'm going to talk to you about the details of that in a moment. There needs to be a focus on respecting yourself. There needs to be very often a massive investment in yourself and your professional development. But by investment, I do not only mean financial investment, but I think it is involved as well. Recognizing your strengths, providing exceptional value, and focusing on the process as well as on the results. And now, what do you think as a professional, or as you as an ELT professional, which one do you think you have the least trouble with? So which one do you think you're still sort of okay with out of those 6? You can write in the chat the number. Which one do you think is okay with you? Do you know your strengths? Do you respect yourself? Do you focus on process as well? Nice one. Okay. Number 3, investing in yourself. Fantastic. Oh, I'm glad. Respecting yourself. Yep. And focusing on the process as well as the results. Yes. Oh, love it. Okay. Respecting yourself. Yes. Ooh, Tracy, mindset. Oh, I was hoping nobody was going to say mindset because that's what I see most often. Most teachers need to change their mindsets a lot, okay, in a lot of aspects. So, okay, let's dig even deeper. What does that all mean in practice? Number 1, mindset change. What do you think of yourself, actually? How do you see yourself in the ELT profession? Okay, do you see yourself as someone who, teaching, it's a job like any other, okay? Or do you actually see yourself as someone who can change lives? Do you see yourself as someone who has to fit in and someone who does similar things to a lot of other people, which, is not necessarily a bad thing, okay? But do you own it, or do you want to be part of that crowd, okay? Do you see yourself as someone who has to, do what everybody else does? So for example, as an example could be doing a qualification, okay, even though you're quite good at teaching. So let me give you an example from like my circle of friends and professional people I know. There is a lady who has been in the ELT profession for 15 years. She works in Poland. She used to be a teacher, and for the last 8 years, she's been a director of studies and someone like a methodologist. Okay, so in Poland, it's like a different role. So she's worked in that. And recently she's asked me, Ola, should I do a CELTA? And I'm like, are you mad? You're so qualified. You have an MA in education and everything. And she thinks she needs to do a CELTA because that will prove something. I mean, okay, if it helps you, then fine. But I believe that you've got everything that you need to be whoever you want to be in that profession. Okay. If the qualification means getting a perfect job, because that's some people's aspiration, then fine, absolutely fine. But very often people limit themselves to that sort of thinking, okay? Or people who come out of CELTA, they think that the only way to go is to find a job in a school to get experience and accept jobs for really little pay, which obviously I'm guilty of as well. It's just a natural thing, I think. But just thinking about that, okay? So how do you actually see yourself? Number 2, so all those questions, plus, do you want to serve people or do you want to have an impact on people? And that's a massive shift of thinking, okay? When we think of teachers, I believe that a lot of people have that idea, even if we've never said it out loud, that education is a value in itself. So people, sorry, I think Anna's lost connection. I'm going to let her in, sorry. So people think that, you know, they are providing value by being a teacher and serving the world, educating other people so they become better versions of themselves and blah, 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 right? So that's what they think is the core value of their profession. But when you think about it from the point of view of making an impact on someone, okay, then you think about your services as something completely different, because you think about qualifying so specifically, being so much better in this one little area that you absolutely nail it. So obviously, a lot of you might have heard of niching down, right? Finding your perfect niche of people or that you want to teach or help. And that's exactly what it is. It's moving from helping, and as I said in that point number 6, focusing on the process to focusing on people's results. Okay, food for thought. Number 3, how often, so that's the professional development, how often do you invest in your professional development? How valuable is it to you? So now, when I first started my career, I would say that I was quite good with, you know, investing in myself. So I would go to conferences, watch webinars, just like you are doing at the moment. Fantastic, okay? But when you think, again, when you think about your career, your goal in your career, if there is a goal in your career, because that's another problem, then are you actually investing in that specific goal, or are you just, you know, because that's what I see in the ELT world. People join all sorts of webinars and all sorts of trainings, just, maybe it will be useful. Okay, I'm going to go to that business English one because maybe that's, you know, going to become handy, or whatever else. So again, it's very generic. So are you doing it intentionally, or are you just, you know, oh, I'll attend this and that and download this freebie and that freebie and whatever else? So by investing here, I also mean, I do not only mean time, but it might also mean money. Okay. And I know, and I used to believe that for such a long time, that teachers are generally poor. Okay. And we just do not go into that profession for money. But I'm going to try, and my mission is to convince you that that's something that the society made us believe. And that doesn't have to be the case. I'm not going to try and sell you anything or sell you any ideas, but it's about believing in what you can do with what you do best, actually. So again, food for thought. And number 4, what was the point? Strengths. What are you teaching strengths? What are you really good at? So that this is going to depend on where you are in your career. If you're just at the beginning or just done your qualification, you might be just discovering, oh, I actually like teaching grammar. Okay. So something very generic, but that's fine. That's already something. Okay. So maybe there is something that you could learn how to do even better. Okay. And what could that be? Is there something that you've got? So let's say that you did your teacher training quite late in your life. So maybe you've got experience in another field from the previous stages of your life. Okay. And that's going to be useful. Realizing that is going to bring you, like, lots of satisfaction, but also that's what can be the recipe for success. Number 5, that's the one about providing value. And to be honest, I was going to say that number 5 is the strongest point in all teachers. You guys didn't go into that profession for any rather reason other than helping people. You care about people, okay? I don't think if there is anyone here who doesn't care about their students, they can leave now. There is no one like that. If you become a teacher, you naturally help people. So if you care about your students, if you're worried about their progress, then it means that you're always going to provide the best value. Okay. Now it's about thinking of that value so it serves both you as a professional and possibly a business person, as well as them. Okay. So again, not thinking about the processes that much, but thinking about somebody's results and having an impact on them. Okay. Hi, Sedanur. Um, and number,
Viola.
hiya. And number 6, trivial, but do you come up with long-term goals for or with your learners? Are you stuck thinking about each lesson you have to teach weekly? That was my massive, massive, massive mistake that I was making for so many years. I was just living my professional life from a lesson to a lesson. The best I could do was plan for a week. And then I would never, ever anticipate, oh, but what am I going to do with my professional life in a year? And that's especially sort of prevalent when you are a freelancer and work for a few different schools, maybe not in stage education, but you just don't know where it's going to go, or you don't think about it. So do you come up with your own long-term goals? So do you think about this trivial question? How do I see my life in 3 years' time? Okay. Do I actually at all? Because again, from my experience, not a lot of people do. I haven't met, so I did, I don't know if you've come across my questionnaire, but I did a little bit of market research before I started launching those masterclasses and stuff. And I met with about 15 people, and all of them, when I asked them, so how do you see your career in 3 years' time? They couldn't answer. There was only one lady who said, oh, I would really like to work at a university. I was like, oh, well done for even thinking about that. But lots of people didn't. They just knew they had to help. They wanted to help people. They still want to teach because it was fascinating. And, have a stable job or something like that. But I don't think that's good enough. So, especially if you want to stand out. Practical tips. How do you implement all of that? Number 1, mindset. Work on it. Okay. Think about it. Just pause and think about it. I recommend mindfulness or maybe even meditation if you're up for it. But, I'm not going to be pushing it on you because you really have to like it and want to do it. It doesn't appeal to everybody. And surrounding yourself with high energy people who make you feel great. Okay. So if you surround yourself, and that was my mistake in the past, I was surrounded by people who believed the same sort of things that were, you know, the truths about the ELT world, such as you can't really make good money, nobody can afford it, or there are too many in that profession, there is too much competition, students, you know, you cannot charge a lot, or blah, 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 or I cannot really be successful because, you know, there is no way to stand out. Now, once I started surrounding myself with people who actually proved that it is possible, then you know what happened. You can probably guess what happened. I started believing that that's true for myself too. And you know, you can do that as well. It's about a mindset change. Number 2, think about your own long-term goals. As trivial as it sounds, where do you want to be in 3 years' time? Okay. Do you want to work at a university? Do you want to run your own business? Do you want to teach a specific group of people? Do you want to become a teacher trainer? Do you want to do a delta? Do you want to use social media? Do you want to sing and dance? And I don't know, do something crazy online that will, you know, sort of, what's the word? Clench your thirst of like creative energy and stuff like that. Think about that. Number 3, so professional development. Some of you may be ready to invest in themselves to be able to reach their goals, financially reach their goals, professionally and personally reach their goals. And here I'm talking about things like coaching, okay? Things like working with someone who will help you set the goals that you may have and help you set up whatever is there that you've got at the back of your head that you might want to do in the online space. Because again, I'm making a massive assumption, but if you came to this webinar, I do have a mini hope that this is because you want to do something quite special, okay? So some of you might be ready for that. And if you are, then either email me, I can tell you about my own journey with coaching, which I did, and that was business coaching as well as life coaching, which I did last year and this year, and how it can help. Okay, so message me if you like, and I can tell you all about it. Number 4, answer the question about your strengths. So coming back to your strengths, if you don't know what your strengths are or how you stand out, okay, ask some people. So as part of my business coaching, guys, I did something that I felt so uncomfortable with. Oh my God, this was one of the worst things, but highly recommend it. So I wrote an email to about 12 people asking them what my strengths are, okay? And like, I like to blow my own trumpet, but asking people what they think about me, Jesus, cringe, okay? But I did that anyway. And what people came up with was absolutely mind-blowing, okay? I attached an email template that you can actually use to send to people that know you, probably best if they know you professionally, but you know, it can be also anyone who is close to you and can see how you work, how you function, and maybe that will help you clarify those strengths that you're not sure of. Number 5. So where are you going with all of that? What would you actually like to do? So is there something in your career that you're so passionate about that you'd really like to explore? And again, this is based on the research I've done. Lots of people said different things. So there's this lady who wants to work at a university. Other people, they just want to get higher qualifications, blah, blah. You could think of a course, creating a course. Why not? Like the online space is the online world is a digital oyster, honestly. Have I just made up a saying? I love it. Okay, hope somebody will quote me on that. Teaching via social media, okay? Lots of people do that these days, but again, it's all about standing out there. Setting up an online business, speaking at a conference, that's actually my goal for next year. Building a membership site. Who would you like to help the most? So again, it's all about that niche. So once you've realized who you want to help and how you're going to help them, think about their results rather than you being a teacher who helps people with their past simple and present perfect and, you know, whatever, how to speak at how to, you know, speak at a Zoom call at work, rather than thinking about the results, then, you know, great things will come to your mind. So maybe you're doing something like that already. Is it successful? And where would you like it to go? Okay, I'm open to any questions, by the way. So if you're doing anything already or have an idea that you're not clear on, something that is around online presence, please also email me. I'm happy to help. I've done lots of trial and error and more error, and have discovered quite a lot. So happy to help. 6. Once you've answered question 5, so what it is that you want to do, online business, online course, membership, whatever, how will your reality change if you've achieved that? So my favorite question for today is, what if it works out? Not what if I, you know, fail, whatever, I can't find any students, or I can't find any clients. Dare say clients, not students. I find that quite empowering when you say clients rather than students. How will your reality change if this works out? How will the reality of the people that you help change? And if you're already on your way to achieving that dream, or whatever it is that you're doing there, working on social media, building something, trying to find a good job, it doesn't have to mean building an online business. It doesn't, absolutely. Maybe you're on your way to a higher qualification. Maybe you're on your way to opening a language school. Maybe you're on your way to setting up some sort of a face-to-face service. But, you know, this webinar is mainly for online. So, you know, I'm assuming lots of it is online. What's at the end there? Okay, where do you see this thing going? So what's next? So say that you've realized you've answered all those questions, and now once you've answered all of them, the question how to do that technically will be exactly that, a technicality. Okay, it won't be the case of, oh, but I want to teach online, okay? Or I want to have my own language school. How do I do that? No, before you have to think about all the details of how it's going to work. And then it's much easier to come up with a plan and a strategy for that. And believe me when I say that, because I also did it the other way around, okay? I thought, oh, I want to teach online. Okay, I'm just going to start teaching online. But who the hell am I going to teach? What are my strengths? Who am I actually going to have the biggest impact on? And once I've realized that, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what happened, because you have to see for yourself. But then you can use social media, build funnels, if you even know what a funnel is. But again, I can help. Use email marketing, YouTube, podcast, learn about marketing, sales, from someone who's done it before, on online courses, but don't skip that step 1, okay? Because I find mindsets in teachers, and, you know, people, we're not, like, again, people who go into that profession go for very certain specific reasons, okay? They're either passionate about the language or they're passionate about helping, okay? But we have to turn that into something that is working for you as well, okay? So seventh piece of food for thought for you. Okay, so the email template is here. If you want to take a picture of that, a screenshot, it's something very simple, but that's exactly what I used in my business coaching training. And I sent it to people and they answered, and wow, they said some really crazy things. So that's it. Ready? Great. Okay. So guys, sort of going towards the end, I'd like you to watch a little video and answer those 3 questions. The video is about a case study, And I would like you to answer those three questions. How long did it take this person or her to realize what it means to stand out? What was the biggest obstacle? And how could she or could she have done anything differently? Okay, we're not exactly gonna discuss the answers because they will be quite self-explanatory, but have a little reflection there. Ooh. Right. Can you see the YouTube video now? Fantastic. Okay. It's my video, obviously. I recorded it. So let's have a look. Let me just share the sound. Hi guys, so today I wanted to tell you about a case study of an ELT professional, a woman that I worked with a while ago. So it's a story of, finding their own purpose and looking for their way in this profession. So there was lots of, the journey was extremely long, and it took her years to realize what actually mattered, what was, the right direction. So from choosing the wrong subject to study, and then to not believing in herself, while all her qualifications were done with flying colors, including CELTA, Delta, then there was sort of a defining moment when somebody even told her, after 5 years of experience in teaching, that her English wasn't good enough. So obviously that had a massive effect on her self-esteem. Then she would even move countries to still teach and follow and her passion, her profession. And then, even though she was so actually overqualified, she still accepted jobs, teaching jobs, for less than £10 an hour. So it was a continuous journey of self-discovery and thinking about, wow, what do I do here so I am still in this profession, it is sustainable, and I do somehow stand out and am successful. So she did complete a few stages, but as I said, it was a very, very long journey, so very tiring. And actually, she's lost hope in how it could possibly be the right industry if it's not bringing any money. Everybody keeps saying that there is no money in ELT. Everybody keeps saying that it's a saturated market, that it's quite harsh. But so what does she do? So there was another moment that came when the lockdown started, and when she started looking into the world of even more information, more saturation, more ELT professionals and schools and stuff like that. So even possibly a harder market. But she's researched it. She did everything in her power to kind of get to know it, to learn the ropes of how to be there, how to succeed. And do you know what? She arrived there. She realized that, and she told me that the moment she realized that all she needed to do was to set some goals, realize what she was good at, and funnily enough, what she was good at was the thing that people used to criticize her on, so her own English. Because it wasn't just one time in her life when she heard, oh, obviously non-native speakers can't be good teachers, because there is still obviously that sort of bias. She became a teacher trainer, she became an online entrepreneur, and she realized that all those things were always inside of her. Once she realized that, she reached out for help. She changed her money mindset. She realized what her strengths were, and she realized that she needs to grow constantly. She needs to do all the things that will make her an expert in her field. She realized that it's actually not going to be that hard, because she is already an expert, but it's just about that realization that the world needs her. So the world, all the other people in that field sort of, you know, she is needed, she is required with her skills, with her expertise, and everything that she's got to offer. So once she realized that, it was a game changer. So she finally found her way. She finally thought that, wow, I can do it, you know? Nobody's ever going to tell me that, you know, EFL world is harsh. It is harsh. Any industry is harsh. That you cannot make money on it. So that's money mindset. And that online world is just, there is just too much crap. There is just too much teachers who try to teach people. Once she realized that she really need to focus, and that there are people and a very, very specific group of people that she can help, magic happened. And that's where she is now. Right. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, good. No, sorry, I didn't. So just a quick reflection about the questions in your heads, okay? In your heads. Okay. And what I'm going to add here to what you're already thinking is, how long did it take her to realize what it means to stand out? I'm going to say too long, but I believe it was necessary. What was the biggest obstacle? Herself. And could she have done anything differently? I don't think so. Okay. And that's, again, food for thought. So that basically, sorry, I was going to say that first, concludes what I was going to say today. The main takeaway from today, apart from the tips that you can basically implement today, ask people what your strengths are, start thinking about who you want to help and stuff like that. I'd like you to also read that. It's just this industry, ELT world is hard, people can't afford it, education is a mission, blah, blah, blah. There are too many people like me, people will just come if they want my service, and I would like to scrap all that, okay? Because it is true, if you talk to people in other professions, they're gonna say exactly the same things, okay? If we talk about, I don't know, makeup services, if we're gonna talk about whatever, honestly, IT website building, people are going to say the same. The industry is hard because there are too many people, too much competition, too much stuff. But if you know how to do it, you can do it, okay, with some help and guidance, and you know, but you have to realize a few things about yourself. So ready for questions, if there are any. About anything that I said or anything that you came to this session with, you can write them in the chat or just come on stage and ask. I'm going to stop sharing just to have a better view of everybody. Just let me know if there are any questions at all.
Ola?
Yes.
If I just wanted to focus on exam preparation,
Yep.
with one-to-one students online, do you
Yep.
think that that is feasible?
That is a fantastic
I've done it face-to-face. I've done it face-to-face with small groups and one-to-one, but never online. And I've been very successful. I've only ever, in 16 years, had 2 students that failed an exam. So I've been told I'm good at it. So I think I would like to sort of focus on that. But I'm not sure how.
Okay. Okay.
Not done any
Mary,
online teaching.
my first answer is it's a fantastic idea because you've got the expertise. This proves my point about technicality. How to start online is a technicality, but you know who you want to help and you know how to do it. And you even said before that you focus on results rather than processes. So you've got it all figured out. So absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
We can talk about the technicalities if you like. So get in touch via email, Facebook, or Instagram, and I can give you some tips. Definitely.
Okay.
And what exams would it be,
Lovely.
Mary?
Most of the Cambridge exams and the TOEFL exams for going to American university. A lot of my Italian students want to go to university.
So it's Italy as well.
In America. Yeah, I mean, most of my students in Italian, but I've had other nationalities. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
The more specific, the better. Lovely. Okay. What do you use to launch your email campaigns? I use a program called MailerLite. MailerLite. I can write the name here. Yeah. Very, very, very easy to. I mean, you have to know how to do it, but if you know already a little bit about email campaigns, then you can start it. And also, just to answer it a little bit more deeply and challenge you, it's going to depend. But there is only a small fee for, it's limited to 1,000 users. There is a small fee for going over 1,000 users. Unfortunately, there aren't any free ones that are worth mentioning. And over 1,000 users, it's just £7 a month. I think it's worth the investment if you have more than 1,000 subscribers. And also, it depends on what you want to do, because if you are potentially a business who wants to attract people to an online course, then you might want to look into some even more expensive options that are going to give you also marketing tools, such as Kajabi, for example. Okay, hope that answered your question. Any other questions, guys? Anything else at all? Sorry, I've got sweaty eyes now. It got hot, really hot. I don't know why. Okay, cool. So if you do have any questions, I'm always available and everywhere. Let me just share again. So join me for the next masterclass, because I'm just going to keep digging in those topics. It's going to be next week, Friday at 4 p.m. By the way, just a little bit of feedback. Is this time good for you, or is it like, It's okay. Right. Okay, fine. It's always hard to sort of, cater to all time zones and needs and stuff like that. But yeah. Okay, cool. So next week is going to be all about social media, actually, because this was something that has been requested. Does that sound interesting to people?
Yeah.
Social media and ELT. It's going to be from an overview of what you can do, but hopefully with some practical tips. So if you have any specific questions, you can come and ask as well. And from August, so there will be 2 more masterclasses in July, because I believe we still have 2 weeks of July. In August, I will still run them, but there will be a little investment involved. So use them while you can for free in July. And I'm gonna advertise them via email, so you can sign up using the link in my email, so you won't miss it, I promise. If you've signed up to this, I will send you an email with the sign up for another one. And if you have any questions, any feedback, any sort of questions for advice on your online teaching, business, career, social media, or teaching, I'm a teacher trainer as well, believe it or not. Email me at olakowalska.elt@gmail.com or via Facebook or Instagram, or, you know, I'm all over the internet. I'm sorry, I can't help it. So let me know. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for your attendance and your lovely questions. And I hope to see you there next week and regularly. And it was absolutely amazing to see you. Does anyone have any other questions at the very end? No. Okay, good. Great. Thank you so much for, oh, sorry, there is something in the chat before I close. Lovely. Thank you very much. Oh, somebody only just joined. Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks again, guys. Okay, hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.